All right, right now, let's go out to the SiriusXM NASCAR radio hotline. We'll welcome in, I like to call him the 15-year-old phenom because he has got a great career ahead of him. He's done some great things in a very short period of time, and he's going to be racing in the K&N and UARA series for Turner Scott Motorsports. Let's welcome in Brandon Jones. How are you doing this morning, Brandon?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show today.
My pleasure. You know, your name has been creating a lot of buzz, and now you're also going to have Gale as your crew chief this year. He's stepping out of the behind the wheel, and he's going to be atop the pit box for your K&N effort. I think you're going to do, 7 or 8 races there. I think you're planning on do the whole UARA series as well, a lot of other one-offs. I think you've got a couple Camping World Truck Series races planned. It's going to be a busy year for you.
It has. I'm really looking forward to it this year, too. I've worked with Cale in the very beginning of my racing career, and we stepped away from that a little bit this year, or last year, 2012. So really looking forward to working back with him this year as being my crew chief. And all the experience coming from him he's had in the Camping World Truck Series from 2012 is going to, I think, give me a lot in all the NASCAR cars we're going to be doing this year.
Now, you turn 16 next month, so happy early birthday, first of all. Has it been... Talk about your development. I mean, has it been a difficult thing because of your age? Or, I mean, because we had Cale on last week, and he was just raving about the things you can do with a race car at your age. I mean, how has been the acceptance from your fellow drivers because of your youth?
It's been a little bit of a struggle, sometimes, but every year we keep bringing in different cars, and every year has been a great learning process for me. Last year we did the full UARA series, obviously, and did just one K&N race, and now we're going to do a few K&N races and bring in the trucks too a little bit, So every year we've been really big learning process. So every year we've been learning, like I've said, and so just try to keep getting better and better with all that stuff. And every car teaches you a little bit something different too, So that's been helping me a lot, I think, in a few series.
Now, Turner Motorsports, to me, it's one of the most underrated organizations. You don't normally hear a lot about it. I mean, you hear a good deal either in the Truck Series and Nationwide Series, but in the whole big scheme of things, people are always talking about the Roush's or the Childresses or the Hendricks, etc. But Turner Scott Motorsports, and you just added Scott to the name. It was Turner Motorsports, now it's Turner Scott because of the new partner you have there. Tell me about just the entire organization. I mean, they've been growing like crazy. They've added a number of teams. I think they're running, I want to say 6 teams between the trucks and the nationwide programs for this year. So they've got a lot going on there. You couldn't be with a better organization at this point in your career, I think.
No, most definitely. They're kind of becoming the new Hendrick and everything of all that stuff. So they've been growing a lot, and they're getting a lot of new cars over here. A lot of new K&N cars. Like you said, a whole bunch of truck teams and nationwide teams for next year too. So all that too will help us in the K&N and late model and trucks and everything with all their experience in that in the past few years.
Now, 15 years old, like I mentioned, you're going to be 16 in the next month. You will be doing, you have tentatively two Camping World Truck Series starts scheduled. Where are those going to be at, and your thoughts about moving up with the big boys, so to speak?
I think we're going to be doing that at Bristol and Iowa, just because of we're running K&N at Iowa and Bristol too. So we kind of wanted to have a little bit of experience at the tracks that we're going to run the truck at, just because of the speed and just the difference. And like you said, stepping up with the big guys, that'll be really fun for me to be able to do that in X16.
Now, the interesting thing is, I mean, sure, if people are just tuning in, we're talking to Brandon Jones, who will be one of the developmental drivers for Turner Scott Motorsports. He sounds like he's like 30. I mean, and I mean that in a good way, Brandon. I mean, you're very eloquent. You're very well spoken. I can't believe you're 15 years old. You'll be 16 next month. I mean, you've got this thing nailed down, and both behind the wheel and also talking on the phone or in front of a microphone. Obviously, you've done a very good job, very quickly.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all part of it. I guess you got to learn how to do it all.
Now, speaking of doing it all, I mean, I don't want to rush you, but you'll be 16 in a month. Do you have like kind of a game plan for your career? I mean, there's been so much already written about you. You're from Atlanta. You've had a long association with both Bubba and Cale Gale. You're with a great organization with Turner Scott Motorsports right now. Do you kind of have, let's say, like maybe a 5-year plan? I mean, where do you kind of see yourself going? I mean, you want to walk before you can run, granted, and I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but you want to take a step at a time. Where do you kind of see yourself going from here to then in about 5 years or so?
Hopefully, like anybody's race or dream, hopefully, we'll eventually make it a sprint cup. But like you said, just take it really slow and just keep kind of adding in each year a different series, and running for the points in each series as we go up. So hopefully we can do a few nationwide races in a few years, and hopefully maybe some cup races even.
Now, because you're going to have the 2 starts with the Truck Series this upcoming season, is there again, maybe a lack of a better word, a game plan that you may go a full-time ride in cup or in trucks rather, if sponsorship and everything happens? I mean, could that happen maybe in a couple of years? Do you think?
It could. You just never know with the sport. But hopefully, we could say that would happen, and we could get a full ride out of that and make something work with that.
What's been the biggest challenge for you in your career thus far? I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, age has been one thing somewhat. What's been the biggest challenge for you behind the wheel?
Just learn how the car, I think, really works, and the technical side of everything, and coming up and running all these tracks too fresh out of my mind. I've never seen a lot of these tracks that we've ran before. UARA I've seen last year, so we'll have a little bit of advantage on that this year. But just when we go to all the new tracks, all the NASCAR tracks this year, I've never seen those before. So I think that's been a really big challenge when you go there for the first day and having to practice then race that day, So that's been a really big challenge, I think, for me. And also, like I said, the technical side and learning what the car's doing.
Now, other than Iowa, and you said the other one was Bristol, I believe you said, for the trucks. What's going to be your first true NASCAR track that you'll be at?
I think we're going to be doing the first one is going to be Bristol in the K&N car, yes. So
okay, and then you've got the trucks race that also the same weekend too, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So is there going to be a difference for you number one, Bristol's a very difficult track to learn. I mean, it's a very competitive track, very tight in some points. Will it be difficult to race one day in the K&N series and then come back with the truck series race the next day? I mean, in terms of the different styles of the vehicles you're driving.
Oh, yeah, it may be, but I'll have Cale Gale, and he's been an awesome driver at Bristol. He's got 2 poles there, in his start.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to having him on there and helping us. Don't think you could have got a better guy for Bristol to help you on that track.
Well, listen, Brandon, I really appreciate you taking the time here, and I'm kind of in awe already because of the what you've done so far in your career, and you just seem like you're in the right place at the right time with Turner Scott Motorsports. You're going to go forward with the about a 6 or 7 or 8 race slate in the K&N series. You've got the UARA season coming ahead of you, 2 starts in the Camping World Truck Series, and maybe a few other one-offs here and there. One thing before I let you go, when you're talking about the Camping World Truck Series, one of the things they're going to do this year is race at Eldora Speedway on the dirt. Is there any chance possibly that you could get a ride there? Have you even given some thought about possibly competing in that race because it's going to be such a historic event?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. No, we haven't really given a lot of thought into doing that. I think we're just going to try to do the Bristol and Iowa race, just the 2 for this year.
Okay.
If they do that again next year, maybe we'll see. But we may plan on doing a few dirt late model races or at least testing a dirt late model car this year or something like that, getting a little bit of experience on dirt because everybody says, that'll help you and teaches you a whole other thing of racing, So we may do that, but I think I may have to sit home and just watch that one on TV.
Okay. All right, Brandon. Listen, thanks ever so much for the time. I really appreciate it. Best of luck to you in the 2013, and also say hi to Cale for me as well, too.
I definitely will. Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. That's Brandon Jones, the developmental driver for Turner Scott Motorsports, going to be doing a little bit of everything this season.